pay no federal income tax whatsoever. So you say, good, drop dead, all of you. I want as much as I can get. I don't care about the nation. At the end of the day, it's not about you or the rich. It's about Barack Hussein Obama, Nancy Pelosi, David Axelrod, Rahm Emanuel, Waxman, and a few others who want absolute power over your life. And I want to remind you that they will control you whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. They will have your medical records. They will know your secrets. They will have your psychiatric records, your psychology records. They will control your medications. They will know what medications you are on. They will manipulate you through the medical system, which is what they are after. He who controls the medical system controls the person. It is what Fidel Castro initiated soon after taking over Cuba. It is what Stalin did in the Soviet Union soon after taking over the Soviet Union. Make no mistake about it. Obama is a communist. Obama wants to be an absolute dictator, and there is no surer way to gain control over every citizen and every citizen's innermost secrets than through a total and absolutely controlled government medical system. Did I make my point? Must I spell it out for you over and over again what is going on here? This is not even sleight of hand. It is naked Marxism. If it walks like a Marxist, if it talks like a Marxist, it is a Marxist. You have a communist revolution occurring in slow motion in front of your eyes, and because the media is filled with compliant, agreeable sorts, it is going on without a note of complaint from any side whatsoever. You're living in a system that is a dictatorship right now. I cannot understand how you don't understand this. You have a House, a Senate, and a presidency in the hands of radical left-wing Democrats. And what are they doing? They're trying to railroad America into a system that is alien to the American way of life. The American way of life is being hijacked by a group of gangsters from Chicago. They are going to make trillions of dollars, and they're going to control you from cradle to grave. This is one man's opinion. This is the savage nation. I'll be right back.
Don't make a difficult time tougher. If your inheritance is stuck in probate, we can advance you the cash you need in as little as 72 hours. Visit inheritancefunding.com or call 877-YOU-AIR. That's 877-YOU-HEIR.
No one else can say it that clear and that precise. And he has passion, of course.
The Savage Nation, weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk 910 KNEW.
We all associate ourselves with any additional cost cutting we can do. We want to squeeze every dollar we can have out of the system to have more savings, to reduce the need for revenues. And we will have a strong level playing field public option, and some of the concerns raised by the Blue Dogs were well taken.
Did you understand one word that this woman just said? Now, she said she wants to squeeze every dollar out of the system. That was the only truthful thing that she said. And, of course, it was a malapropos statement. She was trying to imply that she wanted to squeeze the excess out of the cost of medical care, but what she really meant was she and her cronies want to squeeze every dollar out of you. Chicago, Gene, you're up on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Hi there. I just recently came upon the fact that Ron Emanuel's brother is Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel.
That's correct. The two guys from Tel Aviv.
And his book, I didn't read it. I heard about it, though. It's healthcare.
And their father was a member of the Israeli terrorist organization, the Irgun. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, well, that's left out of the news. Well, I guess you could say he was a freedom fighter, and if you look at it the other way. And, of course, they're fighting for freedom here in America. Whose freedom, I don't know, but they're fighting for freedom in America. I don't know why these guys, coming from a family as distinguished as that, would want to bring socialism to America. Can you figure that one out?
Nope.
No, can't figure that out. Why would two nice guys like that, whose father was such a revolutionary man who helped bring about the birth of the State of Israel, that is Rahm Emanuel's dad, why would his son be so intent on trying to jam socialism down the throats of a free republic? Can anyone figure that out? Don't call me, because I figured it out a long time ago. It's very easy to figure out. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. You're watching absolute power corrupting not only the individuals practicing it, but the nation itself is becoming more corrupted than ever. I think I've made my point on socialized medicine. Go to michaelsavage.com. The headline is Says It All. One-party dictatorship to push Soviet-style medical treatment. On the right side, there's a new article from Ellis Washington, the Professor Ellis Washington, that is, who is currently writing Michael Savage's biography. I want full disclosure here. I like Ellis's writings, and I hired him to write my biography. I am not controlling the book whatsoever, but I picked the author, and that is true. He wrote a new article for WorldNet Daily that I posted called GOP or GIP, which I think is good reading and says it all. The reason we have a one-party system is because George Bush destroyed the conservative movement, George Bush gutted the Republican Party, and greased the skids for the election of Barack Hussein Obama. The article opens with a quote from Sir Edmund Burke, who wrote this: "All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing." Perhaps, my dear friends listening to the show, you are those good men doing nothing. He then goes on to talk about the Republican Party called the GOP, the Grand Old Party, and it was the party of Abraham Lincoln, the party that ended slavery. And then he goes on to what happened to the party. And he says, when I read a recent story that Palin is going to stump for conservative Democrats, I almost fell into despair. Why are Republicans campaigning for Democrats while Obama is campaigning for Democrats? Who's standing up for conservatives? Where's Edmund Burke? Where's Lincoln? Where's Churchill? Where's Reagan? And he goes on. And then he talks about Sotomayor and how she is going to be confirmed, where the Republicans are proudly saying that, quote, absent a complete meltdown, Judge Sotomayor will be confirmed to the Supreme Court. And so the GOP, again, is comfortable grabbing their ankles and allowing the president to ramrod yet another radical liberal activist judge into the Supreme Court without even a pretense of a fight. And if you read on in the article about Palin and the GOP and the GIP, he says here's what the GOP must do. I'm going to focus on one particular paragraph. He says, any politician running on the GOP ticket that doesn't have the guts to spend 15 minutes in the crucible of the savage nation radio show, in my opinion, cannot and should not represent my country, because I would consider them cowards and duplicitous and therefore untrustworthy when it comes to zealously defending America's vested domestic and foreign interests. His next paragraph says, we need GOP candidates that can speak in the authentic voice of the American people. Freedom, liberty, natural law, constitutionalism, limited government, anti-socialism, anti-welfare, and an American first foreign and domestic policy. He says, in conclusion, whether the GOP wins in 2010 and 2012, or the GIP loses in 10 and 12, will be a simple matter of determining which candidates can stand flat-footed without a teleprompter, without a deer-in-the-headlights look, without saying, or you know, and read on, and you'll see. We don't need another Benedict Arnold, he writes, another Neville Chamberlain, another Maverick, no more Fords, McCains, Bushes, or Upper East Side Country Club Republicans. He ends by saying, this is war. Therefore, we need a wartime consigliere in the GOP to stop Obama's ruination of America, not an empty suit or a ventriloquist doll with lipstick, a tight skirt and a convoluted sports metaphor to explain simple questions. Enough is enough. And I want to pause there. The reason that I engaged Professor Washington to write Michael Savage's authorized biography is because this man can write. Yes, politically I agree with him, and he agrees with most of what I say. I've never met him, but this man can write. Let me read that sentence again. Therefore, we need a wartime consigliere in the GOP to stop Obama's ruination of America, not an empty suit or a ventriloquist doll with lipstick, a tight skirt, and a convoluted sports metaphor to explain simple questions. Enough is enough. Ellis, you are absolutely right about Palin. He concludes, I guess, with the next paragraph, and he says, the great English writer and Christian apologist C.S. Lewis wrote, all that is not eternal is eternally forgotten. My paraphrase of Lewis is this: all that is not eternal is eternally irrelevant. And he says, Republicans, what would you be? The GOP, the grand old party, or the GIP, the grand irrelevant party? If you continue to forsake the eternal truths America was founded upon, you will continue to be the grand irrelevant party with the tombstone inscription of your Whig party predecessor, R.I.P. Thank you, Ellis Washington. This is the Savage Nation. The phone number is 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Let us go to WOR in New York. Ed, go ahead, please. You're up on the show.
Hi, Michael. Just wanted to call in and let everybody know that there were well over 1,000 insurance agents on the Hill today talking to Congresspeople about the health care reform package. And I was absolutely stunned with two things. The first thing is